it's the best day ever using, you know? And like, yeah, I got a flat tire. That stinks. I fix the tire and move on. You know what I mean? Instead of like breaking the windows out, screaming at the guy, you know, I mean, when I was in active use, the one thing that I remembered the most is the chaotic thoughts in my brain. The constant loop of trying to find pills, trying to get pills. Who can I get them fronted from? Who has them that I can steal them from? Blah, 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 blah. And it's like, now it's like I'm able to just collect my thoughts. And when something comes at me that's maybe over my head, I get a chance to look at it, break it down, and then take care of it and move on. You know, COVID has caused a lot of things. It is a real disease. I'm not, you know, saying it's not. However, it's caused a lot of anxiety, a lot of depression. You know, like these kids were kept away from each other, the interactions. And then, like, what about the children that were being abused at home?
Right.
Now they're stuck there, you know? And we are seeing some ramifications now from that. And I get it was meant to keep us safe, but it doesn't seem like it helped a lot of people, because there's a lot of people now coming out. I need help. Mm-hmm. Like, I can't go to my AA meeting. That was my lifeline. What do? I go back to drinking, because you can buy beer, but you can't go to an AA meeting. I had a problem with that, you know, because my community was suffering, and the only thing I could do was help them on the phone. And although that's a good resource, they need more than that, you know? Like when that first started, like all the treatment centers went on lockdown, you know? Who was there was there. We weren't letting anybody else in. And then as they reopened, there was a new normal, so to speak, you know? But now we're really seeing the outcome of that stay-at-home order. And, like, I've encountered quite a few individuals who've said, you know, I couldn't go to my AA meeting and I tried really hard. You know, please don't be disappointed in me. And I remember thinking that with my mentor. I remember that thought process, you know, and it's like, listen, I'm not disappointed in you. You know, you just learned what didn't work. Like, this is a trial and error. It took you a long time to get to this point. So it stands to reason it's going to take you a while to get to another point that you're trying to get to. And then once you get there, we'll move you along a little bit more. But it's one step at a time, one day at a time.
Just don't give up.
Just don't give up.
Think about it. You know, if I was working a job, here comes COVID. I get laid off. Okay, I'm going to be freaking out. Right. Like, oh, my God, how am I going to pay rent? Oh, wait. Oh, we get this money coming. Right. Oh, okay, so I get unemployment and then $600 a week? Right. Oh.
On top of your regular unemployment. And some people got hit with back pay. That was like $10,000. Yeah. And now it's like, I have money. Now I can't go to a meeting.
Yeah, and you know, maybe 2 weeks prior, look, they're Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Monday, Wednesday. Anyway, I say I have my whole schedule, and I hit my meetings, I go to church, I do this, I go to work, I come home to nothing. Right. Oh, and now I got a bunch of money. Yep. That's why I said if I was in active addiction, I would have drank myself to death.
I totally believe that if I was still using and I had $10,000, I would have hit up every drug dealer I knew and bought them out. And then I would look at it on my table before, like, this is all for me, you know? Mm-hmm. And it's like, I've done that before, where, like, when I would get them 4 scripts, like, I would get them on the same day. And I would just look at, like, I'd pour them out and just look at the pile and just literally start drooling, like, oh, my God, like, this is going to be a great month. And then 3 weeks later, it's like, oh, my God, I'm dope sick. You know, it's like, I couldn't make it through. I mean, like, that's a lot, you know? I wouldn't wish being dope sick on my worst enemy. I really wouldn't, because the physical pain is what it is. But for me personally, I can't speak for everybody. The mental torture that I put myself through, I mean, it did cost me everything. Like I was living in a house. I lost my house. My wife left. I mean, and as far as that goes, like, I would have left myself. Like, she did the smartest thing for her. The difference was I didn't have the guts to do what she did. I wanted it. I just didn't have the guts to do it. And now she's happy. She's got a new husband that treats her really good. She's got a son. I mean, that's recovery. I mean, I'm happy for her, you know. Mm-hmm. She found what I couldn't give her, you know. And that's great. I'm very happy for her. There's no animosity at all, because in the beginning there was. I had to let that hate go. I had to, because it's poison. Like, you have to talk about the issues so you can move on from them. And sometimes you walk in and you get kicked right in the mouth with these issues, but that pain heals, because once you go through it, now it's going to heal normally instead of having that gaping wound open. You know, people get it confused when it talks to medical assisted treatment. It's not the medical, it's the assisted that really heals, that the miracles happen. You have to go through your darknesses and remove your demons, you know, one by one. And it's tough. Like, they know who you are, and they're going to make you think whatever they can to keep you down. And it works. If you believe what you're thinking, it works. The thought process has to change, and through therapy, through counseling, you know, the meetings, I mean, you're going to see just how alone you're not. And you're going to hear stories that are like, wow, like, I'm going through the same thing. And just that connection to know that there is a better way, that people have gotten through it, what you are feeling exactly, that little bit of hope, it changes the way that you stand. It changes your perception. And that'll happen quite a bit on your journey. You know what I mean? Like, I had a rough week last week. It's probably the first time in a long time where I've literally lost my temper. I can't remember how long it was. And I worked my program. I called my mentor. I reached out to my friend. And just the explanation of how I did it and what happened, I started laughing. I kind of felt dumb. I'm like, yeah, now I was screaming at the wall. And he goes, how'd that make you feel? I said, I was mad because the wall didn't talk back, so I punched it. And he goes, and how's your hand? I go, well, not good. You know? And it's like, that's like, and we laughed about it, you know? And it's like talking about it, getting it out, and realizing it was a foolish thing to do. I mean, that's what keeps me in recovery. I'll always be a person. I still go there for my counseling sessions. I mean, they're through Zoom now, but I'm still there 5 years later. I mean, I need that.
Yeah.
Everybody needs somebody to talk to that is a non-biased opinion, you know? Like moms and dads, like, you know, and I was so grateful that my mom did that for me, even though it was tough. But it needed to happen to show me that I can't rely on anybody but myself. And then the treatment center taught me that relying on myself is a great thing, because I'm a great person. And that's where the healing really begins, because you're not what your thoughts are. You're being lied to every day. You know, you're not alone. You're part of a huge family. And there are people out there like Corey and myself that love you enough to come and get you and take you to treatment, which I applaud you for, because that's one of the biggest barriers right now, you know, and I do that too. So it's like, and the people that are so grateful, like, you saved my life, like that ride to treatment, you helped me out. And it's like, no, I paid it forward, because there were people who loved me through my misery and didn't even know me. And it's like, that's recovery. Like, and there's 25 million people that will do that. My goal is to see that 25 million people rise up to more numbers and have the 24 million people drop, because in my opinion, they're just too close. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I'm surprised the 24 number is not dropping anyway, because people are going to die.
Well, you got to think, like, people are still being overprescribed, you know? Like,
you can still get pills. I mean, yeah, especially where you're from, over by Detroit. Like, there's doctors on every corner, man.
Yeah.
You know, and not just drug dealers on the corner either, but like real doctors that still don't give a damn. And if they get caught, they're just going to go leave the country. Not a big deal. Like,
there were two doctors in particular that I saw where I paid $100 and they go, what do you want? And I was like, well, you know, my back hurts. They go, no, we're not. What do you want? And I had said, you know, I want pain pills. Okay, here's 120, and I'll give you 120 somas as well. And I was like, well, what are somas? I didn't know what the hell that was, you know? Whoa, what are somas? I learned what a soma coma was real quick, and I never want to do that again, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a tricky game, really it is. But that's all that is a game that people can play, and like you said, the doctors, some of them, they just don't care. And it's not really the doctor's fault either. I mean, it is, but greed runs to us, and the doctor could look at it like, well, either I give them these pills or they're going to go shoot up. You know, and you can play that kind of coin and flip it around. And the bottom line though is, you know, people needing help, and you know, you and I, we're here,
right?
You know, and Eric, you can find him on Facebook. You can certainly find me on Facebook as well. But when people reach out, we feel like we have to, not like we have to, but
we understand.
Yeah, and we're not BSing people.
Right.
I'm not going to try to tell you that I'm going to save your life. I'm not. You know,
we're truth tellers. We have to tell the truth for them to understand that we love you, but it's going to be hard, but it's not going to be as hard as you doing it on your own. Mm-hmm. Like for me, I found that it was relatively easier to do it the way I did it because it controlled my thought process enough to where those breakthroughs occurred. And as my confidence rose, my dose dropped until I was at like 20 milliliters or whatever. And every time I would drop to 18, I would feel sick. I was like, if this is just going to happen, I'm just going to throw myself into it and let it happen. And it took about 10 days, you know. But the one thing I loved about my treatment center is on day 6, I went in there and I said, I can't do it. I need to go back on. And they said, you chose this path. We're going to walk this path with you because you wanted it to happen. And it's like for people that think that they're just milking the insurance, they had a chance right then and there. And they helped me the way I needed to be helped, not how I wanted to be helped. And sometimes you need that, like someone else to say, listen, I know what you want. I'm not going to give it to you. However, I will do this instead. And if you just entertain the idea, you're going to find that they're doing that for a reason. You know, the message that I want to give is you are loved and you are a person and you are sick. Like, it's a medical disease for a reason. Some people don't understand that, and I'm glad that they don't, because that means they've never experienced the darkness, and I'm happy for them. But don't stand in the way of someone that needs help. You know, like, just move aside. Like, you can have your opinion, but let that person come to me. Don't stand in the way, you know? Plus, they may not need medical assisted. Like, maybe meetings will help, or maybe Smart Recovery or Recovery Dharma. I mean, there's millions of them, you know? Like, I'm a student of multiple pathways. Like, I love to experience other pathways because it helps me figure out what may be best to suggest to the person I'm working with. You know, I'm not going to say, this is going to work for you. I'm going to say, how about let's try this instead? You know, like I'll go to the meeting with you. I've got no problem going. And recovery is just an amazing gift that you give yourself, because it's my opinion that people that are in recovery are the strongest people, hands down, because they lived through hell. Mm-hmm. I couldn't imagine hell being much worse. I really couldn't. I mean, maybe the fire, but, you know, I was never on fire.
It's a life that I don't want to go back to.
No.
It'd be millions and millions of dollars you had to pay me, and then I would still, it'd be a tough one.
Right.
Yeah, I don't even want to wake up one more time like that, man.
No.
And I feel for the people that still have to, you know, and with alcohol and with pills too, you know, like you get so physically sick and dependent, and, you know, alcohol, you can die from that.
Yep.
And,
well, there's benzos and alcohol that you can literally die from withdrawals. And the dangerous ones are when they're codependent on alcohol and benzos. Like, those people have to wait 9 to 14 days. Like, that could kill them, literally. Like, they have, like there was a gentleman that reached out and like he needed beer to get through the weekend. But now, like he's on his 160 days. Like, he's doing amazing night and day. From the gentleman that I talked to, who called me at 3 a.m, like, do you believe in me? I don't feel like I'm strong enough to do this. What do you think? And I'm more than happy to tell anybody, because I believe it. I know you're strong enough. You know, if you need some of my energy, I will give you some of it. You know, I will help you. You know, because sometimes the isolation happens because everybody runs away from the person. Yeah. And they don't understand. And, like, sometimes it's necessary for the other person, because, like, that's trauma too. Having someone in active addiction and you living with that person, that is trauma, you know? And sometimes families need to deal with it as well, you know? Like FAN has a great programs. It's called something together, healing together or helping together. It's a